Your KRA compliance certificate, you have it?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Where you have forwarded to us, and you have the original copies. The Secretariat will look at the originals, compare with what you sent, and they will release the originals back to you later.
Thank you.
The Higher Education Loans Board clearance, you have that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Do you have the clearance from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The certificate of good conduct from the DCI?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Your national identity card, original?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Are you a dual citizen of Kenya and any other jurisdiction?
No, not at all.
You are not. Have you ever been charged and convicted of an offense in a court of law?
Not at all. Not even arrested, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Now, can you tell this committee your financial net worth and a segregation of what it is that...
Mr. Speaker, I am worth an estimated figure of 550 million Kenya shillings.
Made up of?
Made up of majorly, Mr. Speaker, properties in my house in Nairobi, another one in Eldoret, and land in Trans Nzoia, 3 parcels of land in Trans Nzoia, a parcel of land in Narok, and a parcel of land in Kajiado, and another parcel in Nairobi, apart from where I live. Cumulatively, I estimate, of course, with a bit of, Mr. Speaker, some machinery, vehicles, and also I own a wheelbarrow, Mr. Speaker.
And a motorbike.
Unfortunately, I don't own a motorbike. Maybe because of the sector now, I should own one.
Yes.
But cumulatively, that comes to about 550 million shillings.
What are your current and anticipated sources of income?
Basically, I practice law under the firm of SMS Advocates LLP. That is one of the main sources of income. Of course, I've been earning salary from my job as assignment as a senator for Elgeyo Marakwet County, and I also have a bit of earning from farming. I do a bit of farming, Mr. Speaker, which actually, by virtue of that type of farming, increase the value of the land to what I gave you as cumulatively 550 million. So those are some of the source of income.
Excellent. Now I will give you the 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, it's a great privilege and honor to have the opportunity to appear before this very august committee of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, I will, interchange the same. In any case, you are still the Speaker. Mr. Chair, my name is Onesimus Kipchumba Murkomen, born on 12 March 1979 on the eastern sides of slopes of Cherangani Hills in a place famously known as Embobut. Actually born in Embobut Forest as a son of a squatter. Mr. Speaker, I am the son of Reverend Joanna and Mama Margaret. I am married. I have with one wife and 4 children. And Mr. Speaker, I went for my primary education, I went to Chawis Primary School, which is in Embobut. Like many of us here and others in the country, I went to school at a time in my area where I had to trek for at least 5 kilometers a day going and coming, so about 10 kilometers to access education. I also went later to Kapsiglai Primary School at the border of Elgeyo Marakwet and Trans Nzoia, whereafter I was admitted to the St. Joseph's High School, Kitale, Mr. Speaker, my dream then was to join St. Patrick's. That is the school I knew. And so when I tried to transfer to St. Patrick's High School, the school that time said I will have an opportunity in my second year, my Form 2. So I moved from St. Joseph's High School, Kitale, to St. Patrick's High School for my Form 2 to Form 4. It is at St. Patrick's High School that my leadership skills were honed. Mr. Speaker, St. Patrick's High School was among the few schools in the country then that allowed students to elect their leaders. And Mr. Speaker, the students of the school then entrusted me with one of the most sensitive dockets in the school to be in charge of the dining hall. Mr. Speaker, then at a very early age, I learned how to distribute resources and how to protect the weaker students, Mr. Speaker, knowing very well, the sometimes bullying would ensue, where you have a Form 1 fighting for his chance to get a better ratio of the food. And Mr. Speaker, perhaps that skill and knowledge that I learned at that very early in life will become instrumental in the job that I have been nominated to do, because it's about distribution of resources and equity. Mr. Speaker, after St. Patrick's High School, I was admitted to study law at the University of Nairobi. And Mr. Speaker, again at the University of Nairobi, I had the opportunity to be in various positions of leadership. One of which, Mr. Speaker, was to be the chair of the Kenya Law Student Society. Perhaps I'm told I'm the first person to be a chair of Kenya Law Student Society in my second year. And Mr. Speaker, from there, I also had an opportunity to be the chair of the Fellowship of Christian Unions National Student Executive Committee, which brought together all the members of the Fellowship of Christian Unions in the entire country, over 23 institutions at that point in time. Mr. Speaker, I had other responsibilities, including being an editor of the University of Nairobi Law Journal. And Mr. Speaker, if there is a moment in my life that I learned a lot about leadership and was properly trained about leadership, because people ask me, where did you come from? Why did you end up being a senator? It's because at that early age, from the time that I joined the University of Nairobi, I think I had exposure of many opportunities of training of leadership. So I went to the East Africa Uongozi Institute for training in leadership. Mr. Speaker, I also, together with other colleagues, Mr. Speaker, including Honorable Alice Waume, Honorable Patrick Mariro, Rachel Shebesh, we were in a founding class of leaders who were trained. I was still in the university, but I was in that class, trained to be future leaders, and I'm glad that dream became fulfilled in the fullness of time. So if you find me spend more time speak about my adventure at the University of Nairobi, it's because I value it. It was very important in my formative years, including, Mr. Speaker, I was in the leadership of the SONU when SONU was disbanded, and I was the chair of KLSS that established a new constitution for the University of Nairobi students of SONU, and we put together the SONU. We restored SONU Parliament that used to exist in the yesteryears. Mr. Speaker, after University of Nairobi, and when I was still at the University of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, I had the opportunity to work with the Constitution of Kenya Review Commission, then headed by Professor Yash Palgai as a program assistant, and I traveled many parts of this country to collect views. We were collecting and collating views for purpose of writing our constitution. Again, a very, very great opportunity, and I always thank Justice Pauline Nyamweya for giving a number of us who were students at that point in time an opportunity to serve in the constitution-making process. Mr. Speaker, after my tenure, time at the University of Nairobi, I got an opportunity to do my pupillage with the firm of Muthoga Gaturu Advocates, and thereafter I got a scholarship, a World Bank scholarship, to train young African students, or young Africans actually, because focus was for Africans, on trade and investment negotiation. And therefore I was sent to University of Pretoria, where I graduated, Mr. Speaker, with magna cum laude. And Mr. Speaker, I graduated from there. I went again for an exchange program at the American University Washington College of Law, where I did another postgraduate degree on international legal studies. My time in Washington, Mr. Speaker, was very interesting. I had exposure of working with big think tanks at that point in time, Woodrow Wilson, Mr. Speaker, among others in D.C. I also had an opportunity to work as a lobbyist. Lobbying in U.S. is a formal trade where lobby firms are allowed to go to Parliament and represent their clients in legal positions on different issues. And so I had a chance to appear before Ways and Means Committee of Congress at a young age.